All right, I'm gonna kind of narrate this one because there's quite a bit to note. This is the inlet for the city. So in front you see the city T, and the tap is what I call it is cracked, which it's flowing fine, but that could cause future problems. And that particular spot is at 140 feet from the clean out behind the dryer in the basement, and that's at the city tap, so that's probably under the street. And you can see a little bit of a lip at the top, which means it's settled a little bit. So we're going to pull back. This is clay, by the way. So we're going to pull back. This is out in the street, coming back towards the yard. And the clay looks decent. Typical offsetting from the ground settling. There's a little bit of roots in there somewhere. There they are. That's pretty minor, but you always want to keep as little roots in the line as possible. Those will eventually spread the pipe apart a little more. There's a little bit there too as well. And there. And now is when it gets to be tricky, because this is cast iron and it is rough and has some pretty major decay. So in the top you can see almost like a little hole or an inlet. That is actually outside, but it was typical for them to install these inlets without actually bringing the clean out access to the top of the soil. But I kind of dug around out there, and there's a lot of concrete blocks in the garden bed just buried. And so I took a picture of where it's at, and it's highly recommended to get that accessible again. Pull back a little bit more, and there's another one right there, and that's just inside the building. If you're looking at the front of the building from the street, that clean out is in the basement of the right side of the duplex. And as you can see in the bottom, you've got some trenching going on, which means the bottom of the pipe is completely rotted out in some spots. And it's hard to see because there's water in it, but I can guarantee that the bottom of the pipe is rusted out about an inch wide. And it makes it incredibly risky to get my camera to pull all the way back, because if my camera were to fall into that trench, it could get wedged. There at that spot, you can see how much buildup is there, and it kind of goes over the top of that buildup, and then there's a sort of a pool there. That is trenching. That's a hole rotted out of the bottom of the cast iron. It's very risky when it comes to sending a machine or a camera down the line, because it can fall in there and get stuck. And you can see significant buildup also as far as mineral buildup, with the trench down the middle of it. This is where the trenching is pretty extreme. You can see there's just a big hole right there. Oh, If you heard that, that was the sound of my camera getting wedged right there, but you can see the bottom of the pipe is just gone. And so that was a close call. And I'll go ahead and pull it out, and that'll be, that's the hose, the water hose there. So that will be the inspection. And this clean out that I used over here, this is located in the basement behind the dryer. If you're looking at the duplex from the street, it's the duplex on the left in the basement.